I'm Dr. Douglas Street. I'm a general practitioner in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Have you ever wondered why is it that people tend to get more ill during the latter time of the year? You may also notice that when you are in cooler environments, you're more likely to get ill as well. Also, nighttime seems to be a time when you are more likely to get ill. No, this is not a coincidence. Your body does actually respond to these things, oftentimes in a negative way. And it's important to learn the principle behind why this actually happens. Now, part of the reason why this happens is that there is a change in the temperature, and changes in temperature, particularly lowering of the body temperature, can trigger reactions in the immune system, which can set up for various problems. Weather changes also seems to bring about this kind of effect. Now, this will have implications for our health, so it's important to understand it more. Now, there are short-term changes and long-term changes that can occur under these conditions. For example, at nights, you tend to get more coughing problems, you tend to get more allergic problems, joint problems, and so it does seem to have an impact there. But that tends to be short term, because of course by the next day it's settled. But other things that lower your body temperature can also have a negative impact. So things like air conditioning and fans and drinking cold beverage can actually have a negative impact on the immune system and cause excessive production of inflammation. So it's best to limit the usage of these things so as to minimize the negative impact that it can have. And even if you're having a fever, you should not be in too much of a hurry to reduce your body temperature. If it does not go above 100, it's probably best to let it alone. That warmth actually can help the immune system to properly respond to what is happening, because when you reduce the temperature, for example, if you're having a cold, it makes the cold more likely to spread to other persons and more likely to last longer than the person actually has it. So it's not really a good idea. And even if you're going to be getting, if you have a child that's going to be getting vaccination, it's best not to give any fever medicine before the vaccination is given, because that might reduce the effectiveness of the vaccine. All right, and sometimes you may find that when it gets cloudy or rainy, some person will get joint pains, and if it goes on for a few days, you may start noticing other problems. Like some persons may tend to have more symptoms of anxiety, more symptoms of dizziness, joint pains. Some women may even have hormonal problems. They may have changes in their menstrual cycle and all these kind of things. So the weather actually does have an impact on the inflammation level as well. And when it comes down to changes in the season, you do find that persons tend to experience a number of changes. You get more flus, you get more allergy problems, you get more gastroenteritis. You find that persons tend to put on weight more during the latter part of the year. They tend to become more anxious, more depressed. Their chronic illnesses tend to get worse. For example, the diabetes tend to get worse, and you find that frequently diabetics get admitted during the latter part of the year. And this might actually be because of the seasonal change. Some persons think it's because of they eat, not necessarily, but just a change in the season can cause these things. And of course, some persons may think that's because they're isolated, why they get more depressed. But what happens during that part of the year is that there seems to be a shift in our intestinal microbiome, in the intestinal bacteria, and this can set us up to have these kind of problems. If you want to know more about the intestinal microbiome, there's a previous video on it, and we also have a book out which speaks about reducing inflammation in the body. It's called Beyond the Prescription. It was written by me, and it's available on Amazon in the ebook version and the physical version. Now, there are also racial changes, apparent racial differences. Persons of color tend to be more sensitive to this cooling effect. So you find that they tend to to be more likely to get these problems when these changes occur. All right, so I hope this video was informative to you. To get more of my videos, you can go on my channel, you can subscribe, and you can also purchase my book so that you can be properly informed about these issues. Take care.